Hello again, this is Mr. Kusaj. I hope more of you are watching this time. We're up to 12F, and I think this might be the last section of the chapter. So we'll put it all together, review a little bit, and take a quick test, a little test. Maybe even Friday, yeah. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. But anyway, for 12F, what we want to do is write an equation. We don't want to graph it just the other way around, just the opposite. We want to find an equation from the graph, right? What we did was we got a graph and we had an equation and we found the graph of the equation, now the other way. So what I wrote here was how to start the equation. So it won't make sense now until we use it. So y equals some number a, x minus x-intercept, x minus the other x-intercepts. Remember, there's always two x-intercepts? So I wrote here x1 and x2 are the x-intercepts, and the way to find a is plugging in the y-intercept. Again, it doesn't make sense until we start using it. So here's an example. Let me cover the right side. Like that. So let's look at our graph, right? In fact, even this part would be missing. Even this part would be missing, right? So look at this graph, and the question is, write an equation for this graph. Well, you have all the information you need, right? You know these are the intercepts, the x-intercepts, and you know this is the y-intercept. And really, that point is what? 0, 3, right? That's the y-intercept. And that's the x-intercepts. So what do? Well, first thing you do is you write in the intercepts, the x-intercepts, right? Remember what we said up here? You plug in the x-intercepts. So here my x-intercepts are -1 and 3. That's what I did. X minus -1 and x minus 3. So I put in the intercepts. That needs to be simplified, becomes x plus 1, x minus 3. You're almost done. You just need a number here, right? Remember, our equations have y's and x's, so it doesn't have an a. So we got to change that to a number. What is that number? Well, the way we find that number is by using this other point that we haven't used yet, right? So y is 3. So I'm going to put a 3 here. Yeah, but what do you put in the x's? Well, if y is 3, then x has to be 0. So I'm going to put a 3 here, a 0 here, and a 0 here. And I get this. Oops, I gave you more information there. To find a, we're going to use x equals 0 and y equals 3, and it looks like this, right? This is y, x, x. Y, x, x. So I'm plugging the 3 and the 0 in the correct place. Now what? This is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 minus 3 is -3. 1 times -3 is -3. And you have a times -3 equals 3. It's an equation. Divide both sides by -3, and you get a equals -1. Let me put it up a little bit. A equals -1. Are you done? No. This was just to find a, so we can put it in place. So let's put the a in place in the equation. There you go. There's my a number, and those are my intercepts. So this was the easy part. You just look at the graph. But this we had to do some work for, okay? So I wrote this equation for this graph, right? The question is, here's the graph, write an equation. I wrote the equation. Let's do it 2 more times, okay? Second example, where did I put it? Okay, second example. Like that, like that, like that, and let me cover the right side so we can go slowly. All right, now this one, trying to make it a little more interesting for you, notice it doesn't give you both intercepts. It gives you this one, -2, and it doesn't give you this one, but we need both of them, right? And then to find the little a, we're going to use this. That's the second step. Let's stick to the first step. How in the world do we find this other intercept? Well, look carefully. They give you the mirror line, the axis of symmetry, right? So these two spaces are equal. So just figure out what this space is and add it onto here, okay? So what does this have to be? Well, let's figure it out. There's two spaces here and one space here. That's three spaces. This is three spaces, right? From -2 all the way to 1, that's three spaces. So we go three more spaces this way, and we get to 4. So this is 4, right? -2, 4. Those are my intercepts, and that's what I write into here, right? -2, 4, right? Fix that up, becomes x plus 2. And now let's worry about the a. How do you get the a? We're going to use this point here, 0, 16. X is 0, y is 16. So here's my y, and here the x is 0, 0. Right? So this becomes 2. This becomes -4. 2 times -4 is -8. -8a equals 16. And a must be -2. Now I'm ready to include that in my equation, right? Remember up here? We had the numbers, but we didn't have a. Well, now I have a, so I'm going to put it in there. And there it is. Right? So this is the equation for this graph. So on the assignment tomorrow, you'll get a graph, you look at it, you start it this way, you get a this way, and you write the equation. Okay, last example, the third example. Okay, so look at this. Wow, that's even less numbers. Look at this graph. So what do I have here? First of all, I need the intercepts. Oh, look, there's only one intercept, right? My graph touches the x-axis, not two places like before, but only one place at 2. So what? You use that 2 twice. You repeat yourself. Look, x minus 2, x minus 2. Because there is no other intercept. So I'm just going to use it twice. And of course, if they're exactly the same, we can rewrite it like this, right? X minus 2 squared. Okay? Now we're back to finding a. How do you do that? Again, you're going to use x equals 0 and y equals 8, right? This point is 0, 8. So for the a part, is x always going to be 0? Yes. Yes, if you can remember that, that's fine. It's always going to be 0 for the a part. So what do I get? I get little a, 0 minus 2 is -2. -2 squared is 4, so I get 4a equals 8. And of course, a equals 2. I'm not done. I need to put that in the equation, and there it is. Y equals 2 times x minus 2 squared. So this looks a little different because there was only one intercept. Okay, so that's it. That's all I want you to know. If we give you a graph, you should be able to write an equation like this. Okay, that's it. It's under 10 minutes, so way faster than last time. I hope you get used to this and take advantage of it. So tomorrow we can get right into the assignment. All right, see you tomorrow.